Hello, my name is Nicole Kijak and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Nicole Kijak. So it's been a while and I feel a bit shy. I don't know. I feel like I wanted to take a break and really work on my stability and structure when it comes to figuring out my time with things. So I did a lot of makeup and I did a lot of art and I did a lot of things. And the last time I actually truly made a video was Halloween. And that was what, October 31st? And today is March 30th. So I don't know how many months that is. But other than that, I think I'm back and I think I didn't want to come back to videos until I had a better idea of how I was going to go about things. And whenever I would make YouTube videos, I feel like I would be very, I don't know, scattered. Yeah, the whole makeup and makeup video, but I feel like I can't really, if I were to make things up on the fly, I don't know, I feel like I just want something to talk about. And I realized while making videos that I love to talk about my work. And I want to start making maybe a series of just talking about my work. And so I had written down some bullet points and I went through 7 makeup looks, 9 photo shoots that I want to discuss and talk about today. So, okay, let's start. Okay, so number 1, I actually called this one, so I'm naming these just out of just not an actual name. A lot of my photography and my work don't have titles to them, and I feel like when I'm starting to submit to open calls and submissions like that, I have to start naming my work. But a lot of majority of these photos that you're going to be seeing, they don't have a name to them. I'm just nicknaming the photo shoot. Okay, so number 1, I nicknamed it The Pile of Snow and My Demise. So it was taken in February, right after a snowstorm. There was a snow pile really high in between these 2 cars in my backyard. So originally with this photo shoot, I wanted myself to be the subject in between these 2 cars because I feel like the photo itself had an absence when it was in the middle. But the issue with that when I came to actually start taking photos was the pile of snow was actually really high. It was up to my hip. And I would climb it, and when I would climb it, I'd sink in. And so then you're seeing in the photos, I feel like you could probably see that there's holes in the snow. That's me trying to climb it. And I would fall, and it came a point where I couldn't go around the cars either because there were just piles of snow everywhere. There was no way to get to the back. And so I allowed that space itself to be where I planted myself, you know? So then also, what was interesting is that I decided to I wanted to play compositionally with myself. So it was actually taken late at night, and when I had originally seen this scene, I was in my car waiting to leave. You know, when it snows, you put all your cars in the driveway. So I was waiting for a car to leave, and I was just looking, and I'm like, oh my god, this would be perfect. But then the only time I could take a photo was when I came home, and that was 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And so it was late, and to already have an outfit on and just feel you're tired and the day was kind of lost because of the snow. My stability that day was thrown out the door. I didn't have a schedule. I was just you know, but I enjoyed the outfit I had on. I had brown, orange, and then black. And what I really love about this photo is I was actually not thinking, I was thinking to put on makeup, but since I was so tired from the day, previously everything happening, you know, it came a point where my mind was telling me I can't take a photo if I don't have makeup on. I have to have a curated face in some way. I have to be painted, or I have to have something interesting on. But then I was also thinking about what if this photo can just be just a documentation of myself. I don't need anything. It's just the outfit's already fine. What if it's just documenting the day itself, or where I'm at that moment, instead of having the perfectionist view of I need more, I need to add on more to this, I'm not ready enough, you know? And so what I really love about this photo, I'm actually looking at my laptop right now, and the one photo I'm really looking at is the one where I don't have my pants on. And so what I really like about the scenes I curate myself, I curate all my scenes because I'm the photographer, you know, I'm the only one taking picking the photos. And sometimes when people help me like press the button for the camera, I still pick the scenes. Like I pick everything. Like it's just like, it makes sense to me to create the composition and I'm like somehow the actor in a film, you know? Like it's my scene that I'm creating. And I took off my pants because I was like, there has to be something specifically odd about what's going on. And my hands were red at this point, and I just keep climbing them like the stupid freaking pile of snow. And I was like, gonna take off my pants. So I actually like the way my legs look in this because I've been working on my quads. So yeah, I feel like these scenes give me chances to experiment with an idea I have for that scene. Like in that moment, like taking off the pants makes sense because it's the cold and there's a contrast with the action, you know? And I feel like there had to be something interesting enough where I'm not just on the snow pile. I have to be doing an action that captivates but also doesn't take away from what's going on. So yeah. Alright, so that was... I'm just reading the notes right now. So Nicole, who's editing, yeah. But I really like it. Look, it's just like talking about my work. I think there's something there, you know? Okay, so for this one, number 2, so this photo series I nicknamed Howard and His Shenanigans. So I really like these set of photos, but usually, okay, so they have Howard, by the way, and Howard, if you're not like familiar with me and my work or my page, hi, welcome. But also, Howard is my pet squirrel. He lives in my room with me. He's sleeping in the closet because he does that. And with this set of photos, Howard's actually really hard to get still. And so I love when I'm able to capture him perfectly. But it's just like trying to time the perfect moment where he is because he's so unpredictable in his movement. He's like a spaz. That's what he is. And he moves fairly quickly, and then like he'll like get like shocked. Like if I like move or like there's like a little like noise somewhere, like he doesn't like noise. And he's usually never still. So to have these photos the way they look, especially when I'm gonna talk about these 2 photos as separate pieces of these series. So I'm just going to be discussing those 2 pieces because they both have names and I like submitted them to places. And so, but first, before I like dissect the 2 separately, I wanted to discuss them as the whole of what made me actually get into the scene. So I may or may not have been shirtless in these photos, but I don't think that was like the main thing. I think the fact is I just wanted like a bare top to then just like, because the main focus was me and a backdrop, and the backdrop is in my closet, and right next door to my closet is this like heating cooling fan. Like when it's hot in the room, I could put it as a fan to make it cool, and like it's an AC, whatever it is. It's an AC / heater, and you could switch it. And this was taken in July, and I think I was reminiscing on the fact that it was hot and that I wanted to do something close up because I think I really love intimate scenes, like just faces. Like when I do my own portraiture on other people, I like to really like get in like close with them. I don't like to do the whole like capture the whole figure, like maybe the top or whatever, but it's like I like to capture them in their face, and like their personality comes with that. And so Howard, I wanted him to be there with me, and why I mentioned the fan before was because it would turn on. I turned it on so then it would blow wind, and I wanted to capture a wind type deal on my hair, and I wanted it to blow it. And so I wanted to capture that while also having Howard on me, because I had to be like, come here, and then like put him here, and then I'll run around, jump away, and then I'll be like, come here. And then I have It's a whole process. When I'm taking these photos, I really have to take a series of like photos, really testing out the scene, the lighting. And sometimes when I don't get the lighting right, it's highly overexposed sometimes. And that's why it's like I have to be really considerate and really like see how the photos are being taken. A lot of my photos I'm still trying to figure out, you know, because since it's me most of the time taking the photos, like the focus, like focusing on me. Because if I'm focusing the camera, I'm focusing it on the scene and I have to guess if it's gonna focus on me or not. And then like I'd have to like play with it, take a photo and then see and maybe readjust. And so it's hard to get these photos, like especially these, like it's just, dang, you have no idea how much planning. I don't know about planning, but I think a lot of intuitive tinkering goes into this work, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna separate the two. So right now I'm going to discuss His Secrets Became the Wind, and Howard is like, he's not biting me hard. It's actually really like sweet how gentle he was being. I don't know if you've ever seen animals or like, I think rodents, like how they clean, like they nibble on you or they nibble each other to like clean each other. He out of nowhere just like started doing that because I had been behind the camera and I'm like, all right, press the button. The timer's going off and the timer has 10 seconds. So in that span of 10 seconds, Howard had decided to then clean my lip. I don't know why, but it's really interesting to think like you really can't predict what another creature is doing, like what another person's doing, what another creature, like that's why like timing is really everything, and sometimes it's just luck. And so I really like that because he's on me and I think I'm having more so like a reaction to what he's doing. Like I'm a bit confused, but I'm like, all right, I'm gonna allow it to happen and allow the photo to like be. This photograph was actually used in a work of mine titled I Stole Children's Shoes Because I Said So. Okay, I do title a lot of my paintings. The majority of my paintings I do title. Later on when I discuss more of my photos and they show more paintings, I haven't titled those, so we'll get back to those later. Right now we're dealing with these. But this one is, so it's titled I Stole Children's Shoes Because I Said So. I love that title. Reading that made me laugh. So this is what the piece looks like, and I used the photograph and I feel like it really ties it in well. I don't want to spend time discussing the painting, like the sculptural painting in this video. I will make another video on my YouTube discussing my paintings. Right now I want to keep like the photographs and a painting separate because I have well more of, I have a lot more to talk about today. Okay, so the second photo is called Wind Within the Chili, and it's referencing the fan I had on, and more so like I had a discomfort look on my face. Like I think I was just like feeling annoyed at Howard because I think he was moving and he's on my head in this photo, and I looked just like uncomfortable. And I love how I'm like, even like the figurative move, like even if like the movement I'm doing I think is like subtle enough, but like the facial expression really shows the discomfort, and I think I really wanted to capture that. And this photograph is used in a work of mine titled Red Crayons Exposes Howard's Woes, which is a freaking great title, man. I title my paintings perfect, but this is what the piece looks like. And if you guys want, I'll discuss it in a different video. But let's move on to series number 3, Soft Pink Era. So the reason why I nicknamed it like the soft pink era was because I've been gravitating more towards the color pink. Like someone the other day had asked me what my favorite color was and I had replied pink, and it's really interesting because I never really thought of pink as a color like that for me. But I feel like, but I also feel like I'm becoming soft, or like more so not becoming soft, but I'm embracing it. I'm a very sensitive person and I feel like pink reflects that, like a baby pink, like you know? And so I really like this set of photos because like this outfit I actually wore the day before this photo shoot, and I wore it again, but I love the pink, and I also have this like white like attachment on my neck that gives soft core gesture. And I actually made it myself, so let me show you that. It's like this neck piece that I made. So like these little attachments, and then I clip it here. This was part of a shirt that didn't fit me well, but I cut it in half in a way and I kept the frills because I felt like I wanted this around my neck. So I made that and I added it to the piece, and I also bought this, I think 2 days prior to the photo shoot. So I've been just embracing, like, by the way, this is a children's purse. I got it from a freaking thrift shop. It was in the children's section. It's like $2. This is fire. Look at the little, it's a unicorn. It's like glittery. And I like put my business cards in here, and I'm like walking around with my little mini camera. And it's just, I'm just living it. And I don't carry purses around, so I really like it. So one of the photos that I'm showing right now, it has like these heatless curlers. Like I've been curling my hair with a heatless curling whatever lately, and I've been like, I don't know if it shows here, I did it before this video. I was experimenting it with that because it was pink, but what was really interesting is like this whole makeup look came together. I didn't intend for the bag to be part of it. It just makes sense to add all this color together, and that's really interesting because it's like it's showing my gravitational pull towards something in this photo shoot, and that's why I'm like mentioning the color pink so much, or like where I got certain like items, because it's just like it makes sense to curate these items together. This makeup look, like I was actually really hyper upset over something. I had learned some news, and sometimes when you learn news you have nothing you can do about it other than like figure out how you feel, or like process the emotions you feel because of the news. And while hearing these news, like I did my makeup alongside a friend, and yeah, overall like I just really enjoy the look and the makeup and the feeling I had, you know. Oh, another thing before I leave this series, I've been finding out that I've been using pink in almost all my makeup looks recently. Like even if it's like this, oh my goodness, even it's like this, or like the lipstick, or just like pink eyeshadow. I use pink eyeshadow all the time under my eyes, and I think it's just a really good hue that goes with my skin, or just my energy in general. All right, moving on. Number 4. This one's a fun one. They're all fun. Some of them are frustrating, but they're all fun. This one I really like. So I nicknamed this one The Cake, and that's a story. So this photo series actually has 2 different photo shoot locations. So the first photo shoot location, before I was going to go out with some people, it's overheating. Jeez, man. All right, we're back. What the heck is going on? All right. Okay. So this series I nicknamed The Cake. This is a really silly series. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the first set of photographs first. So I went into the woods, and the sunlight was actually really beautiful on the trees, and so I wanted to grab this huge tree, but then when I was taking photos, the shadows just wasn't complimenting me in a way. It just didn't give, so then I had the flash. But I had a flash with the light. I really like the idea of taking photos with already there being a light source, but then adding on top of that like a flash. And so you can see in this photo particularly, before the sun started like going away, like you could see the background of the trees highlighted a bit, or you can see this tree a bit more highlighted than the other photos that follow it. I was practicing a dynamic pose in these. I wanted to play around, and I think that day I was feeling very frustrated with how my figure was coming out in the photos, but then like I had mentioned before, I experiment with what I'm doing in the scene, and so I was doing these back bends, and while doing one of these back bends I was grabbing like a large stick, and it freaking like shifted, and I fell, and I got like all this mud all over my pants, and I left it, and I ended up taking more photos with the mud in my with the mud on my pants, and you'll see one of them here. And I like it when things add on, like unintentional mistakes end up being perfect for the work I make. So with that, my friend also gave me the yellow pants since I was wearing it, and it like fit on me perfect. And I'm like, whoa. And so the neck piece that's in this piece, it's actually like the cutoff of the end of a pant leg, like a corduroy pant leg. And yeah, it just reminds me of Star Wars. I don't know why it reminds me of Star Wars. It just does, and I'm not familiar with like Star Wars at all. I watched like it as a kid because it was fed to me as a kid. I didn't choose to like Star Wars. And I don't have anything against Star Wars. I just don't know anything about it. So that's just my association with that neck piece. Oh, this was also, was it the first of this? Oh, that's fire. So this was actually the first set of photos that had me experimenting with these very long eyelashes. So I would put 2 on the end and let it be, and then do nothing else with the eyelashes, because lately I've been having like the whole idea of like contemplation of like, I don't want to do makeup because I don't want to have to add mascara on. And right now I do have mascara on because it's just like I felt like the look called for that. But I've been adding more false lashes, and I've been experimenting with false lashes, and this is like the first of many photographs after that you're going to see where I'm experimenting with these like long lashes, which I just didn't think I'd fall in love with. I was really repelled by lashes before because I didn't feel like I could pull them off, but now I feel like that if I use them in an interesting experimental drag way, yeah. So let me talk about the second like half of this series. So I nicknamed it the cake because 2 nights before I was at an art event and they were giving like food away to take home because there's just so much food and there's so much cake, and I was just sick of all the freaking sugar I was eating that night. And what's really silly about that is I think like the day after I was like, all right, I'm quitting sugar. And so someone had given me a piece of cake, and that night when I was going home, I had all these things in my hand. I'm like, all right, I'm not bringing this inside. I'm done eating sugar. So I just left it on top of my car. And I just left it on top of my car. And then the next morning, I just started driving my car. Like nothing was on top of it. And it stayed for 2 days. It stayed for 2 days. It did not leave my freaking car. No matter how fast I was driving, I drive within speed limit because I'm a citizen. And, it was just there. And then like when I was taking photos, I was like, I want to contrast my outfit with like the blue of my car, and I want to have the cake be part of it. And I love that in these photos you could actually see through the windshield and see the drawings I have on my dashboard, as well as like you could see parts of my pants, or my like parts of my pants and my shoes. And before, when I had mentioned Flash, for the first couple of like, for the first half of this series, well, the one with the car, the first couple of photos with the car, the flash was too exposed. And so with that being said, like I couldn't really save it, and so you're going to be seeing like a highly exposed couple of photos, and then you're going to be seeing photos that are fixed. So sometimes it's just like, that's just the nature of my photos. Sometimes it's like I mess up and I can't go back. But I really like the authenticity of just like, this is it. Like, it's not perfect, but this is what it's supposed to be. This is the byproduct of everything that's happened in that moment. So, yeah. I think this is actually going on longer than I thought it'd be, which is really good. But I think instead of having 7 series to talk about, I just talk about 5. And then talk about the rest. There will be more, like, there will be more to discuss in a later video. This will be posted, and while this is posting and I'm editing this, I will be having, there's way more. I'll probably have 5 more to talk about next video. Let's do that, I promise. Okay, so this is part 1. So, number 5 has 2 separate places where I took photos as well. Same as number 4. So, number 5 is nicknamed the Red Raincoat. So, what I really like about this look itself is that I'm wearing this dress, and it's a vintage nightgown from I'm not sure what time period, but other than that, like, I bought it in like this interesting mall in New York City. It was down deep down somewhere, and it was in like a container. Like, it was a really vintage old like place where this lady was selling really interesting authentic clothing. Like, there's only one of everything, and she traveled around just like finding pieces like these. And so it's really beautiful, but it's a nightgown and it shows my breasts. Like, it's like lacing. So I had a black top on. But I really like it because it's floral, and I think it was a really beautiful contrast, like the dark and the light, and then the look itself, like the pink. Like, I wanted to feel soft. And what I really love about the raincoat is that I chose the raincoat because it was raining outside, and then when I was taking photos outside, I feel like the coat was the most vibrant thing. Like, even editing the photos, I'm like, wow, your eye just is purely drawn to the raincoat. And this raincoat is actually something of my grandmother, and it's really beautiful because when I wear certain articles of clothing, or like I have a necklace on that I always wear that reminds me of my like grandmother that passed, it's something of love that I feel, you know? And so while wearing, and plus it's a freaking checker, like, it's a freaking cool ass raincoat, but you gotta be careful because it's not something warm, you know? And so I was cold, but I was also wearing galoshes. And so when I was taking these series of photos, like the first series of photos, you're gonna see I'm outside, I'm slipping and sliding in mud, and then I have to like hike up like the dress in my like underwear, like my like trousers, so like it doesn't get stuck. And then like, it doesn't get stuck, I mean it doesn't get like muddied. That was a really frustrating photo shoot because at the end it started raining and I felt like I didn't get enough photos. And before in this video I mentioned like it not being, like the focus not being clear enough or not focusing on me enough, and I have to experiment. Like, you're gonna see some photos with me a little blurry, like even, like I'm not gonna show the ones of me up close, but I do have one that I really like up close, but then I could see that I'm a bit hazed in it. And I think overall, when I create my work, I can't take the face value of how I feel in the moment because I just have to do it. Because in this moment, I was frustrated. I was like, I don't feel like this. I was so insecure in that moment. I was just feeling so like annoyed. In general, just feeling wise, I think I was really tired, and when I get cranky, and then when I'm outside in public of people looking at me, I'm like, don't look at me, leave me alone, you know? Like, the people leave me alone, but they look, you know? I'm like, I don't look normal. So yeah, but then the second half of this series, I'm in my room, and the camera's overheating it, but it's fine, I'm almost done. You're looking and it's like facing this way. So camera is here. And I'm also incorporating the red raincoat as well. And I'm just laying on the bed and I'm playing around with that. Like, it's like a girl in her bedroom. And I had my friend look at these photos and he said, like, my space looks curated. And I really love that because it's like, this is my space. This is how it looks like. And so what you're seeing in the photo with the things, like the bed, like the things on the bed or like where things are placed, that's exactly what my room looks like. And I really like, because it's like a snapshot of me. And even like it has like my makeup bin on, like it's just like nothing was edited, you know. It's exactly how it was supposed to be. And I was eating yogurt and I was playing around with the bowl and yogurt and honey, and overall like it was really nice. And this was actually the first look where I started incorporating the long lashes on my bottom lashes, like one line, like two or three on the top and then one on the bottom. And it was such a good like experiment that way. Okay, so the camera's overheating and I think I'm good, and I think I'm good for this video, and I'm like grateful I was able to speak that much. Oh my goodness gracious. So I'll see you in the next video, and in the next video I'll discuss this look and other looks. And I hope you liked the video, and if you're interested if you're interested in seeing more of my work, my sculptural paintings, my murals, my photographs, the link is down below for my website, so you could click in and see. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!